What's up, guys? I know I'm a bit late to this, but just a couple of days ago, Big Dong Zhong just got another buff for 1.3. The first buff I thought it was pretty necessary for Zhongli and for the entire Geo element. Geo kind of sucked. It wasn't really anything special to use. Didn't have any like features that popped out and said, yes, I want to use that. Except for Ning Wang, that was basically it. I had no problems with the buff. Thought it was great for the game, great for the Geo element. People could actually use an element and it could be helpful. However, this newest buff that came out 2 days ago, I thought it was pretty unnecessary and could actually hurt the game and future releases of buffs that could come out. But disclaimer, I'm not saying like take these buffs away and no, these buffs should not be here in the first place. What I'm trying to say is like what I'm trying to do here is basically paint a bigger picture and see what the future holds for Genshin Impact with this. Okay, before we actually talk about why I dislike the buffs, let's just go over the buffs in general, right? He got pretty much everything he wanted. He got his E buffed, his ult got better, his shields got better, his using co-op got better. I'm not gonna go into like strict detail. There's probably hundreds of other videos of people just going into that. I'm just gonna say like which buffs I liked and which buffs I didn't really think were necessary. Like this one, um, I don't think it was necessary, dude. He's supposed to be a tank. He's not supposed to be a buffer DPS, just a tank to give you a broken shield. This didn't really agree with that. The this was okay. I don't really mind this. It's fine. This was I thought was necessary. His use in co-op sucked. Whenever I played with the Zhongli in co-op, felt like they just sat there, did nothing. They either spam their ult or just tank like every attack while everyone is being a DPS. Besides that, there's there's all this here if you want to read it, just on the forum. But yeah, that's basically it. That's not what I have a problem with. What I have a problem with is how these buffs got put in the first place. If you haven't heard, when Zhongli first released, people didn't like what he did, you know? They were so unhappy that he wasn't a DPS, a tank, and literally everything into one 5 star. I'm surprised people didn't get angry that he wasn't a healer. Like people were spamming the Discord, the subreddits, and like forums they were just angry. It was just a bunch of angry people that didn't like Zhongli wasn't the Geo god they were promised, and like all the teasers they saw. Hear me first. I am player first. I think the voices of players should be heard and that changes should be made to like fit the players' needs, but these amount of changes are pretty unnecessary. And I think it's unhealthy for this game and it's gonna get periodically worse and worse after each time a 5 star drops and when people summon on it and they aren't happy with what they got. Like that's what the test place is for, right? There's a test trial. You can test a 5 star, see if you like it or not, and that's when you know if you want to summon. Not only that, this leads to power creeping. If you don't know what power creep is, it's basically when new releases of a character come out and items that outperform the previous characters and releases. And like it's not really the best thing. It usually what leads to games dying and like people quitting the game because their old characters no work. Like think about it. Imagine all the months you took to grind up your like 4 star Shongyun or Razor to like a level 90, get their artifacts done, and next thing you know, the next 5 star that comes out is 100 times better. People could argue that 5 stars are supposed to be better than 4 stars, which really isn't the case in Genshin. That's why I like this game so much. Mostly every single 4 star is competable and can compete with 5 stars, and some 5 stars suck. Like Jean, my opinion, she sucks. Not even that good. Like 4 stars like Fischl, Bennett, Jing Chu, literally every 4 star that isn't named Lisa is amazing. Like they're so good in pretty much every content that fits them. Also, if you or I were someone who's summoned on a previous 5 star banner, like Klee, Child, or Venti, and we started arguing, like, this character sucks. I didn't like this character. And me personally, I have Venti and Child. I have no qualms about them. I think they're fine. But some people might not be the same as me. And if they summon and they started arguing Child and Venti need buffs, like, would MiHoYo just straight up buff it? Because like the fan base now and player base now is much bigger now than it previously was, and so it really wasn't the case there. And so, what would Mihoyo do there? So, what I'm trying to say, this would lead to like a conflict, right? Conflicts between player base and Mihoyo, and for players who wanted buffs and players who didn't get the buffs they wanted. If the fan base is big enough to know that they can demand changes through buffs, which they just did, because this was all through the fan bases calling for buffs. Like imagine like now that they know they have this power, who knows what they'll do with like the next 5 star comes out. What if Ganyu isn't the best like 5 star they wanted? Maybe they'll like start asking for buffs then if they don't like her. And they'll ask Mihoyo, buff it like crazy. And this will lead to the next 5 star if it isn't better than the previous 5 star. That's what power grouping basically is. And it really isn't the best scenario because it slowly decreases the value of older characters. And like it constantly makes players summon for new characters and save up for the best next character instead of playing with the characters they actually want, knowing that can work. I mean, that's basically my thoughts on it. I know as of right now, it might not be a big of a deal or serious, but games I've really enjoyed have died because of things like this, like power creep. Power creep isn't really that good. You might like bigger numbers than that, but that doesn't really mean it's going to be healthy for the game and what the future holds. And usually it's not the players doing the power creeping, it's the company to make players summon more and more and more. That's why I like Mihoyo so much. They're not forcing like these OP 5 stars down our throats. Like, and it's actually the players, which is the first time I've actually seen this happen. I mean, imagine what good could come out of this power that they found. Like, instead of arguing for 5 stars and characters to be buffed like this, what if they argue for resin or artifacts? If they focus their like strength of unionship. Now I don't even know where I'm going with this, but if they just combine forces to, say fix the resin system or something like that, which they kind of did when resin first came out. They buffed it to 160. That was actually the first good thing that like this mob mentality thing actually did. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it. Now, I don't know what else to say. If you agree or disagree, it's not really my point. I'm just trying to spread a message. Other than that, that's basically it. And yeah, see ya.